Hello, and welcome back to the Sovren FX YouTube channel. So today we're gonna go over gold and the Japanese yen against the British pound, which is GJ. So looking at the economic calendar, we're actually going to have a very eventful day. So as of right now, you can see the dive in price. This is due to the highly optimistic labor market data. And with the highly optimistic labor market data, this is the ADP is basically the private sector employment data, and with it being good, this reflects that the economy of the US is stable and is able to handle more interest rate hikes along towards January 2024. So that's why you're going to see gold dropping all the way down to maybe 1912, but in the next 15 minutes we are going to have unemployment claims, and if we have one-sided data, we can see gold dive all the way to the 1890s today. So just plan your trades according to that. So the data was highly optimistic, and that's why you can see this is almost 120 pip move. Yeah, exactly. So right now I'm currently not in a trade because I don't trade immediately the data reports are released, because there's huge spreads and you're likely to be slipped towards 50 to 40 pips depending on your broker. But what I'd like to see is a close below 1912 could validate more sales towards 1902, and if we get even more optimistic data during the unemployment claims, are going to break the 1900s and take a dive towards the 1870s. So this is what is going to happen during today's New York session. Also realize past NYSE you're going to have the ISM services PMI and the JOLTS job openings. So the PMI is likely to be a little lower than expected. This is because across the other economies, the PMIs that have been released have been lower, and the global economies have been suffering the same manufacturing problems. So past NYSE, we are going to have ranging price action. So the best time to execute is in the next 30 minutes. Okay, so brace yourselves. If you're not if you are risk averse, it's better for you to stay away, because you need to have quick hands, quick execution, and quick closing of your trades. Let's not be greedy. Grab your 30 to 60 pips, get out of the market. Otherwise, right now, don't get emotional. Exert a little bit more patience, because we have a data report in the next 10 minutes. Let's be patient. Let's wait for a break below 1912. If price holds below, you can get quick scalps. You have a tight stop loss around 15 pips, expecting price to drop all the way to 1902. You have to be quick, in and out. So if price closes above 1912, just close your trades and wait for the 9 minutes for the unemployment claims. But it will most likely be as a reflection of the ADP. The unemployment claims seem to be lower already. That means the data will be optimistic, and therefore gold has no reason to drive up. So right now you're just going to capitalize on these sales from 1912 towards 1902 for 100 pips. Okay, and most likely when data is going to be released. The unemployment claims are going to have a spike up, grab liquidity, then drive towards the 1890s and even break lower towards the 1870s. So that is what we're expecting today. Just exert a little bit more patience. If this 1 minute candle closes above 1912, close out your trade and wait for better entries. So if you have one-sided data, we're most likely going to drive all the way to 1902 for 100 pips. So there we're having our drive right now. So we got 30 pips with that move. As advised earlier, take your 30 to 60 pips, call it a day. Let's not be greedy. In the next 5 minutes, we're going to have unemployment claims releases. So be cautious. Price is most likely going to spike up, grab liquidity, then drop. Also, if you're not comfortable, you can just wait for the next 4-hour candle, because after this drop, the 4-hour candle is bound to give you a top wick, then drop down. Okay. So close your trades, close any trades you might have, because unemployment claims will be out in the next 1 minute and it will most likely stop you out before it drives down. Okay, so in 20 seconds. So this is going to determine whether price will drop or give us a short-term pullback. So price is now dropping. This means we have very optimistic data. So on this website, it takes, okay, so 248k and focus was on 247, therefore that's pretty optimistic data, and you're going to see price drive down towards 1902. the volume has simmered down a little. And for the next trade, so as you can see, price came to around 60 pips. And if you rewind, you'll realize I told you to get your 30 to 60 pips, call it a day. So for those who missed a trade, this is what I'm expecting for me to get re-entries. So let us take a look at the 4-hour. So the next 4-hour candle will be open in the next 23 minutes. So the best thing to do is to wait for this 4-hour candle to close. Then the new 4-hour candle will most likely make a top wick, tap this key level, then continue to drop down towards the 1800 levels. And this is pre-NYSE, because after NYSE we are going to have ISM services and JOLTS job openings. This will most likely bring about new volume, and by then you want to have closed your trades, because the volume can be either sides, and before it drives, the price will most likely whipsaw, stop you out, then go towards your direction. So we didn't have a chance to look at GJ, but most likely the only way we are going to trade GJ is if we get a pullback towards 183,500, hold above this price psychological level to drive up and create new highs. Yeah, I think that's basically it for GJ, because right now for me to validate more buys, I'd have to wait for closure above 184 black level. But for this session, I'd prefer we concentrate on gold so that you can understand the moves and capitalize more. So today we got a 60 pip trade. And our final targets are at 1902 for approximately 100 plus pips. For more entries, you're going to have to wait for price to pull back 1902, fail to break, then drive towards the 1870s, or a break below 1902, then drive. Okay, so for those who missed the entries at 1912, this is what you should be looking at. And for those who are still holding, you're floating 57 pips if you didn't close at the initial 60. But as a rule of thumb, it's better to close your trades and not be greedy. So here we have the drop, and it's going to hit the targets we had for 100 pips. Currently at 85 pips. So to validate any more sells, we need to break below 1902. Or pull back up towards 1912 in the 4-hour candle. So let us look at the 4-hour. We're going to have a new 4-hour candle in 17 minutes. Okay, so no need to jump into the trade while it has already pushed 80 plus pips. Just wait for a pullback towards 1912 or a break below 1902. So from 1912 to 1902, you had a chance to close at 30, 60, 80 pips. That is more than enough for one trading day. So if I were you, if I caught those trades, I'd most likely just close the charts, go and enjoy your life. Get active, turn off your charts. No need to stare at the charts for the whole day. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave it in the chat. So as you can see, we had great moves thanks to the optimistic jobs data, but we'll need PMI to follow suit to continue the sentiment. So just be cautious of the PMI reporting later and continue to follow the plan. So we have PMI first NYSE open. I'll most likely not be streaming by then, but you already have the trade ideas. So this is what I'm looking for. And it will be more favorable if gold drove all the way to the 1870s if we have PMI and the job opening following suit. The volume is currently dying down. Let us wait for the new 4-hour candle. So there we go. The new 4-hour candle will be up in 7 minutes, so just be patient. Count on that pullback, then follow up the drive down towards 1902. Okay, so that's basically it. So this trade, I'll record it as 80 pips. As you wait for more trades. So I'd like to see this pull back all the way to 1912 or this area of sensitivity and give me price action signals to enter more sales. Currently on GJ we have no entries. Price is struggling to break the 183,800 areas to form new highs at 184. So we can always count on that pullback at 183,200, and you can have your buy limits here. This will happen most likely during the Asian session. Have your buy limits at 183,200. You can count on price to come down, tap you in, then continue going up. So that's what I've been doing with GJ. Just set limits for pullbacks, then ride the wave all the way up. So back to gold. Let's give it 5 minutes to marinate. Give it its 5 minutes. So as you can see, exactly what I was telling you. Just give price time to cook. I never enter trades in the middle of a range. I only take it at my key levels and areas of interest. So in this case, we are looking at 1912 and 1902. Also, any questions you might have are welcome. So give it a minute. Let us watch how the 4-hour candle opens, and based on that we can execute on more sells. So the next sales we'll be looking at will be below 1902, sorry. Have a stop loss at around 15 to 20 pips, targeting 50 pips at 1902. Or better yet, a pullback towards 1912 to execute sales at premium sale levels to drop down. So either or in 1 minute. So let me just clear these charts. Okay, so this is what you're looking at. Let's look at the 4-hour open. So the 4-hour just opened and it's doing a pullback as expected. You can see it push. You can see how beautifully price is giving us the pullback before we get the flip. So it's only a matter of patience. So this was our area of sensitivity. If we don't get the top at 1912, well and good. But this is what we are looking for. Now take profits. So for this second leg of the movement, we'd probably target 1897 for 150 pips. So be patient. Remember, if we don't get this, we can always get the 1902s. No need to rush. And also, let's stay cautious. We have news, data, economic data release at 5 p.m. So that will be in the next 1 hour. So we only have an hour to trade. After an hour, you shouldn't be looking at your charts because price is probably going to be messy and no volume will be in the market. So all you have to do is know where the next hourly candle will go, and you're expecting it to tap this then drop. So this is the first trade. We haven't gotten an entry on the second trade. So this hourly flip, then go all the way down. So if your trading plan allows you to enter here, well and good, but I'll probably stay away because I've already bagged my 80 pips. I closed a percentage of my position at 30, the second at 60, and finally closed the full position at 80. So that is well with me. But if you feel like you need to enter a trade so much and it lies within your trading plan, you can still enter, because we have no reason for gold to break above 1912 and go up. So you can enter the trade and have a stop loss above, slightly above 1912, but I'm not recording that as a trade in my books. So questions you might have, any questions? As you can see, you can always count on the 4-hour pullback immediately after economic data releases. But in this case, I didn't get it exactly where I wanted it, but we'll live to trade another day. The price might pull back all the way to 1912 to give us more entries, so be patient. If not, we have extended sales, below the 1902 key level. So this second part of the week has had will be and has been quite eventful, because you're going to have NFP tomorrow during the New York session. So I will be here during NFP and we can take the trades together, just as how we've done the ADP and unemployment claims. The same analysis prevails. If we have optimistic jobs data, we're going to capitalize on the sales on gold and have gold drive all the way to the 1870s and 1850s. All that is data dependent, since the Feds are monitoring the labor market, and if it seems to be resilient and tight, they're going to increase the interest rates. So as the Fed Chair Powell discussed during FOMC, we still have 2 rate hikes at 25 basis points before the year ends. So the labor market is what determines how fast the rates are going to be increased, and that's why you can see gold react the way it is reacting. The only way we can see gold buys is if we go above the 1940 areas. And how will we get to the 1940 areas? So let us look at that. So only time you're going to look at buys is above the 1940 areas, and the only data that is going to allow you to even get those buys is having poor labor data. This increases the recession scares, and therefore gold being a safe haven, the investors are going to move their money from risky assets back into the safe havens as they wait for the economic turmoil to subside. So what these reports give us is just the atmosphere in the economy of the United States and the global economy at large. So if we get tomorrow, we have the non-farm payroll. So depending on how this will come out, if it comes out optimistic, we can see gold drive all the way to 1870s. But if it's poor and below forecast, you're most likely going to see a short-term pullback all the way to 1929 before we can continue dropping. So let us look at how the 4-hour candle looks like. You can always rewind and listen to what I told you. We can always count on the 4-hour candle to pull back, give you some sort of entry before it continues the drive down, and that's exactly what happened. So with experience, you're going to realize some of those moves, and yes, so that's basically it.
myself but turning into stone. So save your judgment cause you just don't know. But some things never change, never change. Oh, they say I should feel guilty and change my ways, leaving crumpled bodies in my wake. Swear I didn't mean to make them break. Swear I didn't mean to make them break. But they're so delicate and so mundane, and they keep coming like a moth to a flame. Oh, some things never change, never change. You'll break your back to make me feel again. Suffocate to make me breathe again. Lose your mind from endless pain. Some things never change, never change. Oh, redemption never came.
So let's hope this is going to drive to 1912 to give us more entries.
By the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move.
So I'd like to see price come all the way to 1912.
So alive, make it last forever. Stop in time, yeah, I'm surrendering. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights
So there we go. So at this point you have to have your eyes glued to this chart if you're looking at the lower time frames, such as what I do. If you execute on the lower time frames, can always so when you're on the lower time frames, you're most likely to get the sniper entries, because say you are in the 5 minute, there are trades that you would have missed since price had already broke. Say for example the trade we took at 1912. For me to get confirms at 1912 to enter the trade, I'd probably be already down by 20 pips. I would have already missed the move by 20 pips. And remember, if you're a scalper, each pip has significance, because if you have a take profit of 15 pips, you can't afford to get into the trade 5 minutes 5 pips 10 pips late, because that will be counterproductive. So we're most likely going to get our entries depending on what price wants to do. So let us keenly watch price action. So what signals are we going to look at before we enter a trade at the 1912 area? I'm going to have to see price struggling to break it. So if we have small consecutive smaller bullish candles followed by an impulsive and engulfing bearish candle, that will be a sign that we are shifting the market structure, and buyers are liquidating their positions and sellers are providing the liquidity. So depending on how price reacts 1912, we are going to have a trade or not. So let's just keep our eyes glued onto the charts. So I'd like to see this close here, a smaller bullish candle. So if you get these consecutive smaller bullish candles, then get an engulfing bearish, you can execute anywhere in this area. Okay. Anywhere within this area is so me personally, currently I'm not in any trade because I'd like to sit this one out and watch what price wants to do. As I said earlier, I already got my entries, so I called it a day. I even closed my terminals. But this is for those who missed the 80 pip trade. You are going to get an entry in the next 10 minutes, most likely, before I close off the stream. Okay, so what are we looking at right now? We are waiting for gold to pull back to 1912 and give you those short positions for 100 pips. And as you can realize, we have an price sensitivity area here. So if you want a quick scalp, you could sell and have a small stop loss, a small minute stop loss for around 10 pips just above this area if price closes below this line. So as you can see, if we extend this line, we have a price sensitivity area. So you can attempt the scalp sales here if price closes below. Price hasn't yet closed below, it only wicked down, then pulled back up. But the premium sales are at 1912, so these are just attempts if price fails to hit our pullback levels. I'm currently liking the fact that we are struggling to reach 1912. This shows me that we have little buyers. The buyers are not currently in strength, and we are currently shifting towards the selling buyers as they are liquidating their positions, and the sellers are providing liquidity for their orders to be fulfilled. Always remember that this is order flow we are seeing in terms of candles. These are buyers and sellers exchanging their hands. As you see, if you have flat candles back to back, these are just contracts being fulfilled by banks and huge hedge funds. So I'd be more confident if price hits 1912, even if it breaks, it closes below, taps it once for that drop. So in the next 30-minute candle, we are most likely going to have that. So here we go. So price is really struggling. So I can enter my trade anywhere here between 1912 and 1911 500 is where price will not always react to the same, to pinpoint exact where I say, because we have the zone. So within this zone, you can execute your sales and cautiously monitor price. Be quick to close, don't be greedy, because you always want to protect your capital. So for me to enter here right in the middle, I'll only enter after the 30-minute candle has opened and given me a top wick. Otherwise, before the 30-minute, I'd really like to see it price tap 1912 before I can see any more sales. So right now we're just sitting it out. The 30-minute candle will be with us in 1 minute. So let us shift to the 30-minute time frame. So we just need a tap of 1912. So we have the tap. Let us monitor price at the 1 minute. Let's make sure the 1 minute candle closes below for us to validate our sales. Okay, so there's nothing else to look at right now because this was the entry. If you aren't in, I'm sorry, you'll have to wait till tomorrow to get an entry, because the volume is currently dying down. So these were the perfect entries right here with the tight stop of 10 pips at around 1913. So you're getting a second chance. Monitor that price action before you enter. If price holds above 1912, I'll probably call it a day. So I think this was the 30-minute candle giving us the top wick before. So I think this was the top wick before we can see it push down. If not, if it breaks its own wick, you can have your stop losses at around 5 pips, because if it breaks its own wick, that's a sign that you're going to have a deeper pullback and this trade won't be valid anymore. So don't be fearful or greedy, just deal with the price deal with the price logically. So we weren't tapped, our stop losses weren't tapped. To validate further sells, we want to close below this line, this price sensitivity area. Then price is bound to drive down towards 1902, and we're going to have the ISM in the next 30 minutes. So if we get to 20 pips before then, I'd close the trade and call it a day. So you're most likely going to get stopped out. Let's be patient, let's see. We're not yet stopped out. So my stop loss is currently at 8 pips for, yeah, currently at 8 pips at 1912 900. So right now I'd like for price to close below here to validate more sells. So we're probably going to get stopped out. Let's wait and see. Not yet. So right now the only way to manage this trade is if you feel, not if you feel, because if you feel that means you're bringing emotions into play, but the only way you can close this trade right now is if we get hit at stop loss or price goes towards 1909 for 20 pips, then I'll move my stop loss to break even. But right now I'll just leave it there to give price room to breathe. but I also want to be outside. I want to be out of the trade before we get the services PMI. So we're going to get stopped out. Almost. So we're stopped out. I think I'm going to call it a day. So all the other trades that we had planned for are still in place. Just wait for the news to come out below 19, to come out, then look at price action. If it falls below 1912, you can execute more sales, or if it wants to do a deeper pullback towards 1923 before it can drop, also well and good. But right now I've currently maxed out the trades for the day. So had gold sales, then more gold sales, 1912 minus 8 pips. So yeah, I don't see any other trade. Maybe till price pulls back all the way to 1923,500. See you next time.